Hello everybody. We have a game with the white pieces and we get a Sicilian on the board. So, no Rui Lopez, but the higher rated you get, the more Sicilians you face. Okay, so this guy is auto moving. So he's moving the same piece twice. We'll develop a new piece towards the center. He takes our bishop, we're forced to recapture, so we don't lose a piece. He attacks our knight. Let's simply bring the knight back to the central location. It could even hit the queen at some point. But he moves the queen again, trying to stop castling. It's a weird move. It doesn't make sense because we just go d3, a move we want to make anyway, and we shut that down. Okay, so he moved it out of the way so he could play b5, b4, harassing my knight, which I don't mind. I'm going to continue with my plan in castle. If he spends too many pawn moves, it literally has no effect. So I'm just going to move it forward because it has a royal fork opportunity, which he just... yeah. So we have another game with the black pieces against Bilf. Bilf? Uh, Now my brain stopped working. Okay, so let's go d6. And he auto plays the London after we play d6. So this makes no sense. I hope you can see that. And now we can do whatever we want. Let's simply bring a knight out. He does the same thing. Fine. We'll bring our other knight out towards the center. He goes e3, supporting his dark squares. Makes some sense. We go g6 because we're going to fianchetto. He does the London setup. He'll bring his knight here. Okay, in London they put the bishop on d3, but I guess since I fianchettoed, maybe he's changing up the square. But at the same time, once I castle, that square is defended. I mean, it's defended as is, so not really a thing. I'm going to castle anyway. And now we have like a starting position, and we can try to outplay him from here. So first, let's go. There's so many different moves, so many different ways you can play this. Um, I wonder, is it possible to hunt the dark square bishop even? Although, if he goes here, he's not castled yet. We could wait on that. So many ways. How do we want to play it, though? I guess we'll just start with c5. We'll attack the center from the side. Maybe try to open up our bishop. He moves the queen, which baffles me. Boggles my mind. Makes no sense. Anyway, um, well, I'm going to take this central pawn with the flank and open up his queen, so when I put a rook here, I'm going to say hello. Okay, our turn. Let's improve this knight because it's kind of dominated. And let's attack the bishop while we're at it. We now have squares for our pieces. He moves the queen yet again. But now we can pick up a bishop with this kind of lousy knight. So it does develop his knight, but his knight's not doing anything there. So let's take that. Okay, he develops his knight, but even b5. And where does his knight go? Can't go to a5 because of the queen. And now we can fianchetto for free because b5 came with tempo. And what's so special about that? Well, it opens up the space for the rook on his queen, so we're just getting lots of free moves. This is a super strong bishop. We have double fianchetto. Our light square is unobstructed. Our dark square only has this pawn. Maybe we can get rid of it. So he moves his queen like a 30th time. So let's... I mean, we could get a rook to the file. We could jump the knight either way. You could even play something like a5. But let's just bring a rook to the open file. He does the same. Let's lift our queen so we can recapture with the rook. And now we have the open file because he's not even castled. Now that he castled, I'm going to hunt the bishop so that if he drops it back and I take, there's no rook staring at my king. Not that it would be dangerous because he doesn't really have an attack, but still. Okay, so now he goes back. I'm going to take that. Now it's two knights versus two fianchettoed bishops. So I'd rather be black. And it's black's turn. Everything's harmonious. Maybe we can get more active. Let's see. Our light square bishop, probably not going to move it for a while unless there's a real threat. Dark square bishop, probably just sit where it is. Rook, it belongs in the C file. I guess you can try to infiltrate. Queen needs to be more active for sure. This is weird. This is weird. This creates a threat. Or you could try to double. So you create a threat or double. I mean, I could double immediately. Just go here. Yeah, I don't think that threats. Like, if I could go here, threaten something, he pushes it, and then I have a good place to go. But I mean, where am I going? Queen A2? Maybe, I don't know, but I'm going to just double the normal way. And I don't see, unless he goes knight back, which I'm happy to see, he can't stop knight C2. And if he does go knight back, I'll even have queen C1. Not knight C2, queen C2. So I'll just stack up my heavy pieces. My pawn structure's fine. I mean, maybe you could play 6 to protect it. So he moves the knight so that it has somewhere to go, but it still has nowhere to go. So now A5 at least comes with the threat of A4, but you can put your queen in. If he trades, your rook's going to be eating pawns. But since his knight has nowhere to go, A5 might come for free. Although that gives him time to go queen over, but then you can take his knight. Oh no, you can't take his knight. Let's just infiltrate and not make pawn moves. And our queen's threatening pawns, threatening the trade. Okay, he goes here. But that takes a whole turn, and I don't see what it does. Oh, it protects the pawn. I see. That's his idea. But now if I move the queen, the rook's aligned with, you know what I mean? My rook is X-raying his queen, and my rook's defended. So I can move my queen. So what if I move it here? It also creates this sneaky threat of winning a pawn. So maybe I'm hitting his queen and the pawn. I guess he could defend it, but he has to see it first. Haha. He counters my queen, but that can't be good because I get a queen, he gets a queen. I get a rook, he gets a rook. I get a knight, he does not get a knight. So this is a blunder. Played very well for an 1100 though. For 20 moves. So we go down that line and now it's one knight versus two bishops. So the game is over. He attacks the bishop. You can move it to many different places. We'll just keep it here, dominating the knight and attacking a pawn. He moves the pawn, but now he cannot move the knight because the pawn doesn't protect that square anymore. So we're happy to see that. Now it's time to open up our dark square bishop without fear of consequence of our pawn structure. Okay, now he's moving this, but his knight is still trapped, so let's attack the knight. He could have pushed the pawn to defend the knight, but he'll hang it instead. And resigns, no resigns, so force move. Just a random check to get the bishop on a protected square. He can't move forward. That's demoralizing. Maybe resigns. Okay, I'll get my king in on the action. See what he does. It doesn't really matter at this point. And you can see how these bishops limit the king, and the king can't approach no matter what. So why resign now? Like it wasn't over before? What? Okay, so let's take a quick look at the game. Now, there's many ways to play, but d5 is perfectly acceptable, but we just play d6. And now, development and center. Development and center. Development and castling soon. 2 inaccuracies, 96. So solid game from black, even though it may look weird if you're not used to seeing some type of setup like this. So we develop a piece in center. King safety and development. Now this is center, attacking center and development. Whenever you could trade a flank pawn for a central pawn, you should consider it. That's why we take. And when he takes back, he can't even put the knight on the c3 square, so you really have nothing to worry about. He takes back. And now we improve a piece for free because the bishop pair would be nice. And the computer says black is better already. So mine is only half a pawn, but still, black is better. And look at our position. We're only on the first 3 rows. We're not doing anything aggressive or crazy. We just have a square for all of our minor pieces, which is important. So now it went from half a pawn to -2, just losing. But in any case, we take the free bishop because the bishops are strong. And now we just kick the knight. Free move that helps us fianchetto. So now we develop in center. We develop, our position looks great. Development. Force move. Improving a piece for free because this bishop covers a pretty big complex of dark squares overall. And our knight is in the way of our bishop. You didn't have to go for it. You could also keep it on the board. So it's up to you. I just chose to take it off. But it does limit your resources because you have one less piece to jump around with. So anyway, I'm just improving the piece for free. So what are the ideas from the computer here? Okay, so the queen c6 with doubling, and queen c7 with doubling, and rook c7 with queen behind the rook doubling. So all doubling ideas, or just like h5. Yeah. Okay, so doubling made sense. That's what I did. And then we just infiltrate. He makes a weird move, and now we have the opportunity. See, a lot of players would have trouble going here, right? Making queen contact, and then all of a sudden, even though you initiated the queen contact, you're moving away from it. And the only reason I'm moving away from it is because there's an x-ray attack all of a sudden. If the queen wasn't on c1 but somewhere else, then this wouldn't be a thing. Now he attacks the queen and just hangs the whole game because we win material. So, not much to see there, but that was a pretty good game. It shows you another way to play against the London with the d6 setup, because you can see that although you're not as forward, it does stop 2 of his minor pieces from utilizing the center, which is very important. Piece activity is important, so keep that in mind. Good luck in your chess, and goodbye.